Don't forget to hit up Rose NBA on Twitter. This man will grind it out for you. He'll do your spotlight sims and your 12 and O's. Whatever you need, he's got it. What is good, YouTube? And welcome back to a brand new video. And as we all know, my Portland Trailblazers got eliminated yesterday. And yes, I'm in a lot of pain still as I'm recording this. So I do have to say, originally I had you guys scheduled to watch a Grizzlies rebuild today, but the way we lost yesterday in such dramatic fashion, I couldn't spare but to upload a Trailblazers one. The reason why I had a Grizzlies one ahead of schedule is because I started a new job today, and currently right now I'm trying to record this on my lunch break, so I don't have a ton of time. So here I am. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about the Portland Trailblazers, and let's do something with this team, because this team needs drastic changes. Big changes are coming. Job I am starting out right now. I had to wake up super duper early, so I wanted to record my video. That way I wasn't recording a video after the Blazers game. That way I could just go straight to bed, if that makes any sense. But then this happened. I'm like, dude, there's no way I cannot do a Blazers rebuild today. I have to find a way. And here I am recording on my lunch break. I literally have like 30 minutes, so I'm not gonna have a ton of time. I'm gonna try to do my best today. So without further ado, let's just get started. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this guy. Obviously, Terry Stotts, get out of Portland, bro. I'm gone. I'm done with you. I'm like, once he didn't challenge that Nurkic Jokic foul yesterday, the 3-point foul, I was done with the guy. I was already done with him before, but once he didn't do that, I was just livid at that point. So I have no idea who's gonna replace him, but I just know anything is better than Terry Stotts. So I don't care what it is. Somebody needs to replace him. So I don't care what it is. I'll just grab Chauncey Billups for now because he's a real person. I don't know who's gonna actually replace him, but one thing I do want to address is obviously the Damian Lord rumors are going to be floating around all offseason now, right? He's going to get traded, or he's going to go somewhere else. And to be honest with you, you know, literally probably a month ago, I'd have told you you're an idiot and, you know, Dame's never going anywhere. But for like the way we lost yesterday, the way the series was played, and that Dame gave it his all and we still weren't able to help him, I can kind of see now that there's a 20% chance Damian Lord might leave this offseason. And it's not even crazy to think about. But for now, I'm going to hope and pray he doesn't. But I wouldn't blame him if he did, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll kind of just let that play out. But for today, I'm not trading Damian Lord, obviously. I'm not going to do that. So what I would like to see the Blazers do is split this backcourt up. I'm done with it. CJ was terrible all series. Yeah, you can look at the box score numbers, and he averaged probably 20 points per game in this series. But if you actually watch the series game for game like I did, obviously, McCollum was terrible. He was not good, and he needs to go. And it's just time to split these guys up. So I know that might hurt Damian Lillard a little bit. They're brothers, or they've been longtime best friends. And then Terry Stotts and Damian Lillard are really close. So Damian Lillard's either going to have to let go of McCollum and Terry Stotts and, you know, focus on building a better team around him, or he's going to go somewhere else. Obviously, he's going to request a trade, and Portland will probably honor his trade request just because he's been such. But I mean, he's under contract for 4 years, so we could also tell him to, nah, you're not going anywhere. But I don't know. We're gonna see how that plays out. Personally, I don't imagine he'll request a trade, but I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't be totally surprised if he did, to be honest with you, just because he literally had no help in this series, and it was really sad to see. But CJ McCollum needs to go. I don't know what CJ would get traded for, which is also an issue, because what would you get back in return for CJ McCollum? To be honest with you, I have no clue. I really don't. But I just know you need to get rid of him for somebody who can play defense, more defense over him. And you also need to resign Norman Powell to replace CJ McCollum. So I would be trading McCollum for a wing player. I guess Jeremy Grant's an option, and Mason Plumlee. But I don't know. Fred VanVleet, Christian Wood, Derek White, Jalen Smith. I'll tell you guys what my dream scenario is, and I don't know if it'll happen. It probably won't. It's probably very slim. My dream scenario, and honestly, you could do something like this as well, which would be interesting if you got Draymond Green. But yeah, that would help you defensively, but I don't know how much that helps in general. But I will say, personally, my dream scenario is the Clippers get eliminated tonight. Kawhi leaves, or is going to leave. So the Clippers are forced to face with a decision where, hey, they might have to trade Paul George, and then we get Paul George. So a CJ McCollum for Paul George swap. Reason being is Paul George is a lot better defender than CJ McCollum, and Paul George can play the small forward spot just fine. Something along the lines of that would be my dream scenario, but the chances of that happening, I feel like, are pretty damn slim. So yeah, but I might make it happen in today's video because, like I said, I don't have a ton of time to think about things. So CJ McCollum for Paul George, could I make something like this even happen? I have no clue. Probably not, I imagine, but we're gonna try it anyway. So let's go ahead, offer every first round pick we literally can, because you're probably gonna have to, right? If I'm Portland, I'm getting aggressive. It's time to show Damian Lillard you want to put somebody around him. So but we really have like nobody to trade right now, to be honest with you. So we might have to wait, unless we want CJ LB. So we might have to wait in order for this to happen. So let's just go past the draft because we don't have our draft pick. Obviously, it goes to Houston. So let's go to player options, and then after player options, we might be able to make something happen here. So Anthony Simons, Derek Jones, and Nasir Little all coming back. Cool. Qualifying offers, Zach Collins also could be somebody you could maybe throw in a trade along the lines of that. But Kawhi Leonard's getting offers from, and he's not even interested to come back from the Clippers. So you're like, LA might be faced with a situation where they're like, oh my goodness, we may not get Kawhi back. What are we going to do? So then they're like, okay, maybe it's time to trade Paul George, and let me make sure he's not untouchable. Like I said, the chances of this happening are slim, but it's not totally out of the realm of possibility, right? But I don't think it'll happen because I don't know how you trade CJ McCollum and get better, but this would be the way to do it, and this is the only way I can really think to do it, so I'm going to try to make it happen. So Paul George for CJ McCollum swap is something I want to make happen. We would acquire too much money. But obviously, we're going to offer like Nasir Little. You'd probably have to give up Anthony Simons here, if I'm completely honest with you. He showed out this season. And so let's just say we offered 2024, 2025, and they get a couple young players. Would they do this for Paul George? And they agree. So Paul George would probably cost quite a lot because, you know, I think the Clippers would know that the Blazers are desperate, right? At this point, they would be desperate. So Paul George is my dream scenario. I don't know if that would happen. It probably wouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because I don't know what else to do. So with Paul George coming here, Nurkic would play, or Nurkic would still be the center. Although I didn't watch the exit interviews last night because, like I said, I went to bed early. But apparently Kenny, I was watching this recap this morning, very early this morning, and he was saying that Nurkic was saying things would have to change in order for him to come back, which is interesting. I'm definitely gonna be watching those exit interviews when I have time because it'll definitely be kind of interesting to hear what the Blazers players have to say. But then Norman Powell would 1000% be a resign. I must resign because he'd be the perfect replacement for CJ McCollum. He's pretty much the same height, but he can play better defense than CJ can. So I would definitely want Norman Powell back, and that's the guy we're definitely going to be getting back. So Norman Powell, welcome back to Portland. And now the starting five looks a little bit more well-rounded around Damian Lord, which is the important thing. It's the important thing. Defensively, it's looking a lot better than it was before. The defense is a lot better, let's be honest. Inside the perimeter defense is a lot better than it was before with the starting five that looks like this. Obviously, Damian Lord is still going to slide in the defensive end, but starting five definitely looks better defensively. And now you're looking at the bench. I imagine Derek Jones Jr. will not be back on this team either. He probably would decline his player option because the Blazers got to the point where they weren't even playing him in the rotation. So I don't know why he'd want to stay here. So I would imagine Derek Jones Jr. probably getting traded. I don't know what I'd get for him, but we just need something off the bench. Like a Dorian Finney-Smith from the Mavericks would be honestly not too bad. Jay Crowder from the Suns wouldn't be bad either. So honestly, just anybody like that, somebody who can play some defense and come off the bench and be helpful. Jay Crowder seems like a great guy to me. I don't know if Phoenix would trade him, probably not, but I'm going to do it anyway because, like I said, not a ton of time to think about things today. So then I'm also looking at Nicholas Batum. He could make a return to Portland, kind of be another wing guy off the bench. So let me sign Nicholas Batum, and then that doesn't leave us a ton of money left, but we can also make a couple things happen. So Zach Collins, restricted free agency, is interesting to me. He's asking for a ton of money, and he's not going to get that. Let's be honest. He's been injured all year. Why on earth would somebody hand him over $30 million? That sounds like highway robbery to me. So let's move probably Crowder or Batum to small forward. They both go up, so it really doesn't matter. I guess I'll move Batum to small forward, I guess. So we'll have Nicholas Batum backing up Paul George, Jay Crowder backing up Robert Covington. We'll need a backup guard and a backup big man, and then we're good. So centers that we can maybe grab who would be at least interesting on defensive end, a backup center who could play a lick of defense, anything. Honestly, Zach Collins might be the guy there, to be honest, because I don't really know what else you get there. But as far as backup guards, Ish Smith wouldn't be a bad veteran point guard to have, backing up Damian Lillard, Reggie Bullock, anybody along the lines of that. So Wesley Matthews, want to bring him back to Portland. He wants to come back to Portland. I wouldn't mind that. Definitely wouldn't be a bad situation. And Ish Smith, I'll sign him into a deal as well. So one of those guys could be a really nice backup role player to back up Damian Lillard, like I said, or Norman Powell. So I think at this point we don't really have enough money to sign anyone else. It doesn't look like. So at this point we just wait for Zach Collins to come back as qualifying offer because we really have nothing else, really nowhere else to go. So this is what the starting five would look like. It would definitely look interesting. Ish Smith and Wesley Matthews, of course, going down in overall like crazy. So that doesn't help us any. But usually, these guys aren't going to regress this much in real life. So maybe I look for a better guard to get because I just, obviously They went down overall, and they're not going to help us in the rotation, so I'll find a better backup guard replacement. But for now, I like our starting five. I really do. I think we have a good chance of being better defensively. I don't know if this is a championship team. With Paul George, you're certainly better. I think. With Paul George, you're certainly better. You're not playing 3 guards in the lineup together, so I think it's certainly better. So what I'm going to do is simulate this first season and see how things go with Paul George being here. I don't know how it's going to go, but hopefully this team is much improved on the defensive end, and we can make the playoffs again. And this time, like I said, we're not totally getting killed on offense all the time, and we can play defense a little bit more. Over to Detroit for a first round pick, and we get Mason Plumlee. So the Pistons get a young player in Zach Collins. We get Mason Plumlee as a veteran backup center, and Mason Plumlee has played in Portland before. So our guard situation still isn't great. Obviously, it's still very thin, which is unfortunate, but we'll have to see if free agency can treat us any differently. But that's the big trade I wanted to make happen, and now I'm going to simulate season number 1. After getting eliminated from last year, goes on to win most valuable player, 36 points per game, 11 assists, 50, 40, 90, shot absolutely efficiently, amazing from the field, and we're the first seed in the West. So Dame decides to stay in Portland, which is my dream, obviously, this offseason, and hopefully things can happen. Chauncey Billups, Coach of the Year, Gary Kim, Executive of the Year, aka me. Damian Lord makes the All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team, and All-NBA third team. I was hoping to see Paul George here, but unfortunately, we do not. Because I made Paul George shot tendency right there with Damian Lord. Because obviously, getting Paul George, I would want to see the same Paul George we saw in Oklahoma City that one year. Playoff P, or not playoff P, MVP playoff, or MVP Paul George, not playoff P necessarily, not pandemic P, or whatever you call him. But 16 and 22 on the season, player stats, 24 from Paul George. This is kind of what I would want to see. And then 36 from Damian Lord. And of course, like I said, Norman Powell could be kind of that third guy that can play similar to what CJ McCollum was, but instead he's the third option. And then 14 points from Nurkic, 10 in a block per game for Mason Plumlee. Covington was 7. And obviously Covington on this game just absolutely sucks no matter what you do to him. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. Jay Crowder with 7 points. Reggie Bullock with 4. He ended up being the guard I traded for. The 2K game automatically gave me Trevor Ariza, so I flipped Trevor Ariza for Reggie Bullock to be a nice shooting guard off the bench for us. So, looking very good. And now we get to play the Houston Rockets, who have John Wall, Jalen Green, Sean Tate, Kenyon Martin Jr., Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., Otto Porter. So, if you guys know me, 8 seeds are the scariest thing in history. I don't care if the Lakers have Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. The scariest thing in history on 2K is the 8 seeds in 2K21. I don't know what it is, but bro, these 8 seeds, they out here, man. You can lose to them at any point, and it does not matter. For me, anyway. I don't know if it's like that for anybody else on YouTube, but when I face 8 seeds, I am terrified, and we beat them in 5. Thank the Lord, bro, because, dude, nobody loses to 8 seeds more than I do. Like, legit. Memphis Grizzlies, John Morant, Josh Richardson, Keon Johnson, Jaren Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Clark, Kyle Anderson, Xavier Tillman. So Memphis, a very good team ahead of us. Somewhat in current round against them. And it is a close series, 2-2. So I'm going to go ahead and go into some simcast here just because I personally do not want to lose here in the second round because I want to get this video done as soon as possible because, like I said, I don't have a ton of time on my hands. So if we can, squeeze out this championship in season number 1, I would be totally okay with that. But right now, it's not looking good. We're going to Memphis, down 3-2. It's not impossible, but it's not looking good. So let's shorten the rotation to an 8-man. Let's play our best players even more minutes and simcast this even more and see if we can pull this off. So against Memphis, we start out the first quarter not looking good, but second quarter we do come out swinging, and we do beat them 127-114, forcing a game 7, bringing this back to Portland. And here we are in Portland against Memphis, and this is where we want to get back to the Western Conference Finals, obviously. And it looks like we're going to do just that. 109-122. Paul George 31 and Damian Lillard 29 and 17. And now we get to play the New Orleans Pelicans, who have Lonzo, Boston, Ingram, Zion, Steven Adams, Jackson Hayes, Cody Zeller, Kerr Lewis Jr. This is definitely going to be a tough series. Game 1, they're up 1-0 to start things off. 43-11 and 38 is not enough. Game 2, they're up 2-0. Okay. 35-10 from Damian Lillard. We do win game 3. And we're down 3-1. Okay, well, that's not good. Let's see if we can come back from a 3-1 deficit. Probably won't happen, but hey, you never know. Crazier things have happened in this damn game. So let's see. And it's looking like, okay, so we are going to win this game. 147-158. 61 bomb from Damian Lillard. Wow, that's actually incredible. Okay. And then I just got to make sure, bro, we are on time. I don't want to be late to work. So let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Pelicans here. And it's looking like, okay, 84-83. It's a close game. Very close game, actually. Let's slow this down a little bit. 99-95. 101.98. Okay. All right. Well, we take the lead back, right? We take the lead here. 105, 108, 107. Okay. This is a close, very close game. But it looks like we're going to squeeze it out by 1 point. We forced a game 7. Damian Lord was amazing. 53 points that game. And now here we are in game 7 against New Orleans. Do we win it all? Or do we go to the NBA Finals? Or do we just come up short? Knowing me in this game, I'm going to come up short just because 2K likes to tease me with a 3-1 comeback and then lose in game 7. But hey, at least we're not getting blown out this time. So 113 to 112, very close back and forth game. 115. Okay, they're starting. Nope, not yet. 121 to 119, 122, 124, 122. I gotta jump in, man. 124, 124. We gotta jump in here, and we get the ball. I love it. Okay, is Damian? I'm going to Damian Lord 1000% on this possession. Like, nobody can stop me here. All right, give me a screen, Mason Plumlee. I don't know why Mason Plumlee and Nurkic are out here right now. Give me a foul. Let's go. And one. That's what I wanted. 124 to 127. If I make this free throw anyway, I don't know how many points Damian Lord has tonight, but this is a big free throw. We make it, and now we just got to play good defense, and that's all we're asking for. But if you know me and defense, they don't match up well. I hate... Actually, we just have Mason Plumlee out here. I'm off-balling this possession because I'm trash at this game. BJ Boston for 3. He misses it. Get the rebound. That's a big rebound. Paul George, maybe go in transition here. I'm going to slow it down. Actually, we got Covington wide open in the corner. Green light. Let's freaking go, bro. 124 to 130. Just like that, New Orleans has to call a timeout because they're definitely terrified right now. Wow. Let's freaking go. And I didn't intend to make this one season, and we may not win a championship in the NBA Finals anyway. But it's looking good that we could possibly make it to the NBA Finals here. We're up 6 with 20 seconds left. Usually that's a recipe for winning a game. Let's see how many points Damian Lord has right now. So 50. Man has been nuclear, bro. The man has been absolutely nuclear. He's the MVP of the league this year. Let's see what happens though. But all right, they're gonna give it to Lonzo. Maybe nope. They go to Ingram. Gonna off ball again here. I'm gonna let Paul George do his thing on Ingram. See, like CJ McCollum would not be able to guard a guy like Brandon Ingram, and we get a nice turnover from Mason Plumlee. That's what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Here we go. We just gotta make these free throws, and it should be GG. Let's go. 124 to 132 should make this game. And boom, just like that, New Orleans does not have a timeout anymore. We're up 8 points. There's no way we could possibly blow this. So I love it. All right, here we go. Bledsoe and transition. The Bucks do not miss him at all. Go ahead and shoot that 3. I'll let Bledsoe shoot. I don't care. You can put that back up. All right, that's game. Sim to end. That's game. And let's go into game 7, where we're going to be playing either the Nets or 2K, please don't freeze on me again like you did last time. Don't do it. Don't do it. It did this to me last time, bro. Please, dude. Please, I'm begging you. Maybe I shouldn't jump into games anymore, bro. It did this to me last time. No. No, bro. No way. It's gonna freeze on me. We're never gonna know if this team won a championship, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. Kidding me, dude? It's gonna be doing this forever, and I'm gonna have to click quit. Yeah, I can't do anything, bro. This must be a glitch right now in the game because it didn't used to do this. I'm gonna give it a little bit. But if it's not changed, it's chalked. We took an L. Sitting here for a good 5 minutes, to be honest, guys, and I don't have a ton of time to wait on it. And the reason why this is bad, because I think it would have been okay. The reason why this is bad because I have autosave off because I don't like to do the draft order all over again. So this is gonna take me completely out of my NBA. Which leads us right back to, okay, I don't think I can jump into games anymore, bro, because that is going to cause a huge issue. So yeah, we're back to where it was. So unfortunately, we're never going to know if this team won a championship, which is really quite annoying, to be honest. But hey, the Blazers at least made the NBA Finals. Who knows if we would have won a championship. I imagine if we were playing the Brooklyn Nets team, I'm not sure if we would have, but hey, you never know, man. Although, like I said, I wanted to talk about Portland today, and that's what we were able to get done, and I wanted to do this offseason realistic rebuild, but I can no longer jump into games. That's very clear to me, and I will not do it. I will not jump into games anymore. Quick, I just also want to say, honestly, as salty as I am, I'm glad this team lost yesterday the way it did, just because something needed to change, and maybe this will be the way the Blazers finally stop being so complacent every offseason and actually do something. This is, like I said, this is what my dream scenario would be. Trade CJ McCollum for a 3-and-D wing like Jimmy Butler or Paul George, and re-sign Norman Powell, and then do whatever you can around them. So that's my dream scenario, but I don't know how it's going to go this offseason. And like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm very sorry we couldn't simulate the NBA Finals. I'm going to stop jumping into games because clearly it's just not allowing me to do it. Unless I have autosave on, of course, but I cannot jump into games anymore. It's just clearly not going to work. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But for now, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace.